Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. Hey, and welcome back to the iLife Academy Coaching Podcast. This is Abdul Shahid, and in this week's episode number 26, we are focusing on the feeling of being stuck. And that is universal. So when I say universal, I mean that every one of us feels that. Everyone, regardless of what level of success, what level of happiness they have in their lives, there are days and there are months, there are years even for some of us, where we just feel stuck. So the question is, how do you get unstuck, and what is it? Why is it that we feel that? You see, feeling good is a big struggle, and we get stuck in life trying to feel good. And this is a human condition that people try so hard to avoid. They try so hard to avoid being stuck because you want to feel good, and you do not feel good when you feel stuck, but it's almost inevitable. So let's look at, why do we feel stuck? How do we struggle to take action? Because, when you feel stuck, you find it difficult to take action. You find it difficult to do the things that would otherwise normally make sense. And then you're sitting there wondering, why can't I do it? And so the thing is, how do we struggle to take action in the very things that we so desire to have in our lives? You see, the number one reason that people get stuck, or people procrastinate, or remain stuck in this avoidance of what they feel they must do, is that they are stuck in their mind. You see, that's the short answer. And I'm gonna elaborate on this, and we're gonna figure out exactly what's going on there. But you know what? This is the short answer to it. Like, people get stuck in their mind. You see, being stuck in the mind really means being emotionally blocked because of the wish to avoid some feeling, or to attain some feeling even, or to avoid a situation that you don't want to face. So in this short coaching lesson or coaching podcast, we will look at, what can you do to get unstuck, to loosen your situation until you can take actions that you really want to take in your life. Because people really struggle to create the lives that they want because of that feeling of being stuck. And it's not, it's a terrible thing when you feel stuck for a prolonged period. And so many people, when I talk to, in my coaching practice, with my clients, with the trainee coaches, like, what I find all of the time is that, despite how much success they've had in their lives, in their previous careers, or in whatever they're doing in life, in their current careers, like, despite the success in different areas of life, people still feel stuck. And when they feel stuck, it's like nothing can happen. And this is why I call it a mind-made prison, because it really feels like a prison sentence where there's nowhere to go, nothing can be done, and you are just stuck. So, as I said, in this short segment, we will focus on what is it and how to get out of it, because that's the most important thing. So the first point is, and this is really, this is the point that you really, really, really must get. The feeling of being stuck in any situation is a mind-made circumstance. Because in reality, you cannot be stuck. There are always options. However, if you feel stuck, it's because you have just closed your mind off from the available options. And we do this by telling ourselves that there is no other way. You ever found yourself saying that? That no, this is it. That, this is me. That's the way I do it. Or this is the only way that can be done. I can't see any other way. Or even, the dreaded I don't know. Like I hear this all the time. I ask people, I ask my coaches, I ask my clients, what is it that's causing this? What's going on here? And the answer is, I don't know. You see, I don't know is a dead end road. I don't know means that I'm not going to look because it's not possible that I could know. I don't know means that I have to look everywhere else because there's nothing here to be found. It's a dead end road. And we tell ourselves this and we create the no other way factor in our situation. So that's the first and the most important thing to realize. You are never left in life with no options. Never. It's never a one-way road. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful, the most wise, Al-Hakim. He subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't create us all different and then give us only one way to survive. So that's the first thing and the most important thing to realize. It is a huge misunderstanding that we humans face. And get that, it's a misunderstanding. So you don't have to blame anyone. You don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to go blaming everyone else. You don't have to blame your parents or the teachers or school or work, or you don't have to blame your boss. You don't have to blame a single person. Just get to grips with the fact that you have a choice to make. You see, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? I'm telling you, most people, because I'm saying you don't have to blame anyone, because most people blame themselves. They get stuck and they blame themselves and they berate themselves and they give themselves a real hard time. And I'm actually telling you that you don't have to do that. And some people, they blame their spouse, they blame their family, they blame their parents, they blame everyone but themselves. And what I'm saying is that you can just park the blame game. Park it. Like, you don't need to engage in that because that's not going to create any solution. And this is what keeps us stuck much of the time, that we get into the blame game. And, the blame game is like, it is a problem focus. Like, we're so focused on the problem, we're never going to be able to see the solution. So that's not going to help, right? So that's a side point, but I would suggest that you focus on the fact that this is a misunderstanding, right? It is a misunderstanding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never leave you without options. So there are options. There are always options. And you see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it. La yukallifu Allahu nafsan. Like, He doesn't burden a soul illa wus'aha, beyond its ability. No one is going to be burdened beyond what they can cope with. That means that there's always a way. That means that there's always a way. So, look, the first and most important realization, that you have options. You're never left without options. That's the most important thing to understand here. Because for as long as you remain stuck in this idea that there is no option, you will remain stuck. So if you can get to grips with the fact that you do have a choice to make here, then you can get busy looking for what the options are. What are the choices that you have? And ultimately, this will help you to take back the reins of power. And you can choose your way out of any situation. So you have a choice. And that's a very powerful thing that you have right now. So you can choose to remain stuck, it's a choice, or you can empower yourself by choosing an alternative reality. And it may not be what you're used to, or it may not even be what you're comfortable with, but there is always going to be another way. And you see, I work this idea, this concept, this understanding through all of my coaching, through all of my clients, through all of my teaching, like, because it's the most powerful thing. And it's a powerful Kickstarter for life. You can have the life that you want. You can create the life of your dreams when you exercise your power, which is the power of your mind, to choose the things that empower you, what sets you free, and what really is the foundational building block of a happy and content life. So let's have a quick look at, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? Is it to stay stuck? To stay in a state of this paralysis of the mind where you will feel like you have no other way, and you will not be able to get out of this situation that you find yourself in? Is that the alternative? Because that's pretty bleak. So why choose no option? See, even when you say you've got no option, that's a choice. And I'm saying to you, why choose no option? It is totally disempowering. And so you have to trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never leave you without an option. Never leave you without a way. That He, the most beneficent, will always give you a choice, will always give you a way. So if that's the case, but you're not feeling it, and you can't see a way, then you've got to realize, you've got to know that this is the misunderstanding. This is a misunderstanding, and that this is something that's being created. You've got a mental block. In other words, it's in the construction of your imagination that you are blocking your way by blocking your sight, by not being able to see. If you can recognize this one thing, you will find a way, because you will start to see options. But you have to be able to recognize that your feeling of being stuck and there being no way is not a reality. It's actually just a creation of your imagination, a creation of your mind. And when I say, look, that might really get under your skin when I say a creation of your imagination. But look, your imagination is the most powerful thing. It's like the center of your mind. Like, you create your reality using it. And if you tell yourself you're stuck, then you're stuck. But if you recognize that your imagination is not reality, but it's a faculty of your mind, then you can use it how you like. So look, I said this will be a short segment. And I can tell you that this is the most powerful lesson that you could possibly need right now if you are feeling stuck, if you are unable to take action, if you are, in a state of mental paralysis. You're not moving forward, you're not moving sideways, you're not taking action, you're not doing anything. If you are feeling that, then you just got to recognize that there are always other options. So if you recognize that, then no more procrastination when you can see another way to getting things done. You'll have no more low moods and depressing thoughts about being stuck in this place forever, because there are other options. No more feeling like you're drowning in anxiety and overwhelm, because you'll see that it's being created in your mind. The situation doesn't have to be blocked. It is not a dead end. There is no dead end. There's always other routes. And you can totally get unstuck and create the life of your dreams. But first, you must get unstuck. And in order to get unstuck, you got to get creative with what's challenging you and find an alternative route. And that means finding your way out of this mind-made prison. It's not permanent because you cannot truly be stuck because there's always other ways. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us options, has given us choice. And you will only remain stuck for as long as you choose to not find an alternative route. And here's the thing, look, here's what happens with a lot of people when they get stuck, when they feel stuck. They get emotional. Like, do you get emotional? Do you have meltdowns? You see, getting emotional and having a meltdown will not help. You see, emotional outbursts do not do anything but exacerbate the feelings of paralysis, the feelings of being stuck, the feeling of hopelessness and despair. Emotional meltdowns are like a dirty puddle of water that you've decided to sit in. But here's the thing, it's not an ocean, it's just a puddle. So you could just get up at any point, brush yourself down, and you will dry out soon enough. It's not permanent. It's not the only way. But a misunderstanding that will keep you stuck for as long as you remain in that misunderstanding. If you can recognize there's another way, if you can recognize there are options, if you can recognize that you have choice, just take small steps. Take the steps to move in any one of those directions. Take a step in a different direction. Move even if it's just a little. And you will instantly start to see some change. And when you see the change, you're going to realize you're not stuck. When you see the change, you're going to realize that actually you can make things different. And you will feel like maybe it's unfamiliar territory, which won't be comfortable, but that's a good thing. Make the move and you might even find yourself in a very different place before long. You see, once you sit in change, you can't really sit in change because change is always moving. And what that will do is that it will help you to create a new norm. And it will become easier, much easier. And you won't feel stuck because you'll be moving. You'll be seeing different circumstances, different situations. Because sitting in the same old situation day in and day out doesn't make anything better. It's simple. If you don't like something in life, change the things you are doing, change the way you are looking at things, and before long, things will start to change. And you will inevitably be happier when you begin to see the change. Because you will no longer feel stuck. Because stuck is the same old, same old. And unstuck or freedom is change. It's new things. Things that don't always look comfortable. And the quicker you get to grips with change, the quicker you're going to like how life looks. You're not going to feel that unstuck feeling that stuck feeling anymore. And you will have the options to create life the way you want it. But in order to create, you got to move. You got to take action. You got to take small steps. And you can absolutely do it. Just take small steps. And look, if you need help, go to QuranicConnection.tv. There are lots of articles and podcasts that will help you with what you're trying to do. And if you need further help, check out the emotional mastery. Check out the different programs that we've got going on. Like, get in touch. And I want to leave you with that. I want to leave you on one thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. He does not burden a soul more than it can bear. That means that if you can't bear it, there's something that needs to change. There are always options. There are always ways. Make the changes. Make the changes by changing the way you look at it. If you get unstuck in your mind, you will get unstuck in your life. You can do this, one step at a time.